Tenaimwari, today's event, I think, is another momentous occasion in the history, the beleaguered history of African people in this country. A very, very important event. I mean, you can see for yourself the way the people came out. There were hundreds of people gathered here at this Brixton Town Hall. People pouring out into the foyer, out into the streets. It's a clear indication of the depth of feeling within the African community in particular, in terms of the death of our brother, the killing of our brother. And as you heard tonight, for many of our people, it was the murder of our brother, Brother David Emmanuel, otherwise known to us as Smiley Culture. So I want to first of all extend my condolences to the Emmanuel family, to extend our love and our best wishes and deepest concern, and to let them know that we understand that Brother David Emmanuel, Smiley Culture, before he was a national cultural icon, he was your son, or he is your son. He is your father. He is your brother. He is your cousin. He is your friend. We understand that. And so we respect that. And at this time, we feel, first of all, for the family of Brother Smiley Culture. We feel deeply. We want you to know that your pain is our pain. And we want to extend our love and best wishes to every member of the Emmanuel family. The Alkebulan Revivalist Movement, we want to make a clear statement that we stand in solidarity with the Emmanuel family in the demand for justice for the killing of our brother. We do not accept at all this Mickey Mouse account that we've been given by the Metropolitan Police. We are used to the Metropolitan Police. We're used to, unfortunately, the killing of our people and then them covering up the truth and giving us spurious pretexts for the death of our sons and daughters, mainly our sons. And we're saying that this is totally ridiculous to expect us to believe and to accept that you went into this brother's home to raid his home for so-called drugs which you did not find. I've heard no reports to the effect that you found drugs in the brother's home. But that's what you said you went there for. And this brother has ended up dead with a stab wound to the heart. And you want us to believe, like the fools you think we are, that you allowed the brother to go in the kitchen to make himself a cup of tea. And the brother wounded himself, inflicted the fatal wound upon himself. Well, we don't accept that argument. And we're saying that we want the truth. Isn't it strange that we had the 30th anniversary commemoration of the Black People's Day of Action only a few weeks ago? In fact, only almost not even 2 weeks before the killing of our brother. And the reason why we had the Black People's Day of Action, one of the things we recognize is that in 30 years, nothing has changed in terms of the level of injustice that we as a people continue to suffer in this society. In fact, what we said was, in some ways, it's even worse. The social injustices and the inequalities and the maladies of 30 years ago are still with us today. And that was one of the reasons why it was necessary to have the 30th anniversary commemoration, in addition to remembering the fatal victims, the lost souls to the African community, in addition to remembering the vicious reaction of the police who refused to properly investigate what happened at 439 New Cross Road that's on the 18th of January in 1981, refused to properly investigate and establish the facts, establish the truth about what happened, and instead treated our young people, our young victims of the fire, the surviving victims, as though they were suspects. what happened to Brother Smiley Culture is the kind of thing that we've said as a people, we need to organize. We need to establish a national agenda to organize ourselves as a nation of people, as one people with one voice, and to harness our collective power to defend and protect and to promote the interests of African people. So that not only can we promote our interests, but we can protect ourselves from the kind of injustice that has caused the premature death of our brother. We recognize that this kind of invasion and assault on the humanity of a people can only happen when the people are perceived to be powerless. And so we say as a people that we have to empower ourselves. As our great abolitionist, brother or Baba Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without demand. Power concedes nothing without demand. Papa Garvey said the African must get power. Power of every kind. Power in education. Power in science. Power in industry. Power in higher government. That kind of power that will stand out so that other races and nations will see, if not feel. If we were perceived to be a powerful community, a powerful people, then the powers that be would not invade and assault our community in this way. This is a brother who is a national figure, an international figure, a national and international icon, and they can invade his home and abuse his humanity in this way. What safety or security do the rest of us have? There's a whole catalog of names that we could call of Africans, young Africans, many African men who have died at the hands of the police, African men and women. You know, we could call the name of Colin Roach, Cynthia Jarrett, Joy Gardner, some of the names were called today, Ibrahim Say. There are so many. The list is endless. Wayne Douglas, Brian Douglas, Colin Roach, and it goes on and on and on. We want the police officers responsible for the death of our brother to be brought to justice. And we mean justice. And beyond that, we want our community to recognize that we must use this as a catalyst for imposing the change that we want to see for ourselves. And that must mean that we must transform ourselves from the present situation of perceived disunity to a position of unity, from a position of disempowerment to a position of empowerment through our unity. We as Africans must come together and we must organize ourselves into a national body that will represent our interests, that will promote, preserve, and protect our interests, that will define, defend, and develop our interests, where we will speak for ourselves, where there are issues concerning ourselves, where we will build institutions that will promote the needs of our people, educational institutions, health institutions, industries, shops, stores, whatever it requires to empower our community, we must build those institutions, scientific research institutions, whatever we require as a community to empower ourselves. We must move towards organizing, laying the foundation for building those institutions. That is the only way that we are going to be respected and we're necessarily feared, so that they would have to think twice before they assault our humanity. Tendai Mwari, in the words of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, rise, you mighty African people, for you can accomplish whatever you will. Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari.